everybody. This is Queen Lenora, of course, with the Love and Live show. I am so happy to be here today. Today we're talking about premarital advice. Of course, this is what the subject is on Wednesday, premarital advice. And then also, what we're going to be talking about today that I want you to keep in your mind is how important intimacy is in a relationship. But before we start that, don't forget to hit subscribe, the little bell button for the notification to let you know when I pop on, and of course the thumbs up for the likes. I appreciate it. You can also check me out on my Instagram as well. I have Twitter and Facebook too. Ta-da! Almost forgot those. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about intimacy. Like I know I went last week on the 3 subjects of intimacy. And there's so many. There's like probably about 12 subjects. I know I said 14 last time. About 12 things that we can talk about with intimacy. But really I just want to focus on intimacy today. And it's just something that I feel like we should talk about because people still put intimacy with sex. And intimacy is not sex. It can enhance sex. It can make sex better. But intimacy is not about sex. So I had somebody ask me, can your marriage thrive if you don't have intimacy? And I said it can't strive, but it can, you can continue your relationship. But usually those are the people that you see that's been in a relationship for a long time. Like 30, 40, 50 years and they get a divorce and you're like, what happened? Because they are not intimate with each other anymore. They have no intimacy. They have no connection. They have no bonding. There's nothing that's combining them together. And sometimes you'd be like, well, when the children move out, that's when they broke up. Because that was the only thing that was bonding them. That was the only thing that was connecting them. That was their only intimate moment is how they were as a family together. Get what I'm saying? So you don't want to be in that situation where you just not focused, not having that relationship. So intimacy is when you can tell your partner everything. You can talk to your partner about everything. And there's different stages. There's emotional, there's physical, of course intimacy. But I'm talking about like touch, feel. There's creative. There's so many different things that intimacy is all about. And if you don't have any of those things, there's lost traits. Now you can always build. You can be like, well, I don't have intimacy with my partner, my soon-to-be husband, or my husband. How do I build it? And that's where you do things of trying to build a relationship. You want to do something creative with each other. So try something new with each other that you can do that you might not have thought of. Like find something you both said, I might try this one day. And you guys try together to explore. There's things like painting together. There's things like you can paint your body. You can paint a canvas. You can go paint night. They got all kinds of things you can do with those. You can take cooking classes together. Even if you know how to cook or if you both know how to cook, you can learn something new together. And not only does that, it also brings memory so you can have those intimate moments. And try to take pictures so you can have photo albums of it. And then you guys can do craft night, where you guys put them all in your photo books together. You guys write things, what you were thinking at that time. Those are wonderful things for intimacy. You want to have all those things. And I'm not going to go by each because, of course, I'm breaking them down for you to understand and get it and recognize it. And so like that, I just want you to know that it is something that helps your marriage survive. It helps you connect. It can stop infidelity. If a man is not a cheater or if a woman is not a cheater, it can actually stop infidelity from even ever happening. And there's going to be people always in your business, but you'll be able to read your mate well enough to know if that person is lying or not. Like you can hear somebody tell you. I've had people come in my ears and tell me my husband might be trying to cheat on me. And I'm like, okay, no. Because I'm stated too. It's not that I'm blind, because there's a difference where you're blind to what your spouse may do. But I was like, no, let me ask you some questions. So I asked them some questions. And then when I seen them tumble over the lies, I'm like, no, I already know. Because I could tell, and I'm very connected to him, to my husband, and I talk to him. Not saying he would never cheat. I can't say that. He can't say I would never cheat. I can sit here and say I would never cheat. but I don't know. But what makes me not cheat and what makes him not cheat is the intimacy that we have with one another. That I flirt with him all the time. He flirts with me. We kiss constantly, and it's not big like French kissing, just a peck on the lip. We hold hands when we sit next to each other. There's a physical connection that we always try to have. We try to talk things out, even when we're parenting our kids and we don't agree with each other. We try to talk it out. We have conversations about those things, and we try not to discredit each other. And what I mean when I say discredit each other, I mean I'm not going to sit here and say you're stupid or that's dumb. You don't make any sense. And I'm going, well, I don't understand. This is my thought process, and I even do it with my kids because I want them to understand this is my thought process. I know this. I understand you might not feel like you're doing this to me, but this is my thought process of why I feel like you're doing this to me. You're purposely telling me I'm stupid. You're purposely telling me I'm dumb when you purposely lied to me on something I know. You know, it's those conversations that you have, and not to be making somebody feel less than, because again, I don't want my husband to feel less than. I don't want my kids to feel less than. But I do want to have a communication with them where they understand everything that I'm talking about, understand what I'm trying to say, everything that I am focused on trying to get our relationship to be built on. So I want that also to be in your mind when you think about it. Now, like I told you, if you see a married couple that's been together for a while, then you want to see why did they break up. And I bet you there's some intimacy issues. That means there's some disrespect that's happening. There's some talking, belittling each other or families, or putting the kids above them. Because in an intimate relationship, you cannot put anybody above your relationship. And this, I know people get so mad at me about it, but it's so true. I have this thing in my head where it's God first. If you believe in God, God's first. I believe in God. Yahweh, He's first. Then the thin layer is myself. Thin layer is my husband. So it's personal care for one another. I gotta keep up myself. I gotta make sure I feel good. I need to have that long time with myself. Take myself on a date, or just soak in a hot tub, drink me some wine, and just relax. Just where I can think for myself. Then it's my spouse, which is my husband, and then he has to think about me. And then it goes down to our kids, and then however the tier goes down. Now you've seen like a chocolate fountain or champagne fountain. So it's a little tier here. It's a God, but he's the one that is starting the water pour, or the champagne pour, the chocolate. He's starting to pour, and then I start, and it just is. It's just a little rim, just a tiny rim after God, just a tiny rim. Because you want to make sure you love yourself. Then you get to the other middle size one, the round one, and that's our relationship, because it's so much to build. And you and God and personal care, because God loves you so much that He wants you to have that care and that love for yourself, because He created you, and there's only one of you in this world. I don't care who looks like you, who acts like you, there's only one of you in this world. So remember that in your mind. You hear me say that all the time on my Instagram page, because I'm doing positive affirmation, and I want you to love yourself and encourage yourself and be there for yourself, because you have to have that no matter what it is, okay? So you want to do that. And then it pours over to the kids. Now the kids feel happy, loved. Even when they get disciplined, they know mom and daddy love each other because they have been taking care of themselves up above them. So now you show all that to your kids, and they get it. So I tell people all the time, when you think about relationships, um, so it goes into this perfect round in your relationship. You want to be able to make sure that goes in this, so the kids now see how you guys are treating each other and loving each other and caring for each other, and how you still take care of yourself and still take care of and take care of your husband or wife. And then now it's over to the kids. Now what people do is they take that big old bowl that's your children and put it above the smaller one of your husband or your wife. So you got, here's God supposedly first, and then a lot of times people don't even put themselves in there, and then they put their kids in there, and then they put their husband in there. So the more you love your kids, it doesn't pour down to your husband or your wife, because they've already been neglected. So you have to go with the small to the regular size to the bigger, and then everybody else is that big bowl down there: family, friends, work, co-workers, such and such, such ministries. If you're in church, because a lot of people put church above everything too. There's like, here's God and here's church, and then here's everything else. No, it doesn't go like that. And I want you to get that, because in my mind, I was like, that's what people are missing. So if you are getting ready to be married and you already have a kid, you have to trust your partner well enough that you can put your partner above your child. Because if you can't, you don't trust your partner to discipline and love your child and cover your child's always going to be above, and your marriage is going to be a lot rocky. And you don't want your marriage to be rocky. You want to have a great marriage. You don't want it to be messed up or destroyed. Your whole goal is to have this wonderful life. People spend all this money on this beautiful wedding, spend tens of thousands of dollars for this wedding, and then they get a divorce because they're messing up the tier. They're not having the intimate relationship. They're not bonding. And a lot of people go, well, why do we need marriage counseling? Premarital counseling. And I hear this all the time, because I'm like, why are you getting in the field for premarital counsel? And I'm not, I'm premarital consultant. That's what I do. But, and I said, the reason is because I understand that back in the day, that they didn't need it, but back in the day it was against the law. Like, it was against everybody's belief to ever get a divorce. So you dealt with each other. You learned to deal with each other. You learned. Sometimes, matter of fact, people were made to marry each other. So you had to learn to grow to love and build that intimacy and everything else. So it's a different thought process. Now it doesn't even take long to get a divorce. You don't even have to take a counseling class to get a divorce. So that's what makes the difference. So yes, you need premarital class so you can learn how to argue correctly. Because there's nothing wrong with arguing. People think it's like a no-no to argue. It is nothing wrong with arguing. Go ahead and argue. So go ahead and argue. Arguing is very healthy if you do it in the right way. And you have to remember, no matter what goes on, you're not there to attack each other or tear each other down. And don't go into an argument in your mindset to sit there and try to convince the person to believe what you want them to believe. That's the wrong thing. All you want to do is make sure that person understands your belief, understands what you're trying to say. And then you have to try to understand what they're trying to say and go with that. That is what makes a healthy relationship and a healthy argument. And I always say, your room should be sacred. It should be so sacred. If you can't get along or argue, you should not enter the room. Your room should be sacred. It is your room. And I really don't believe, I wish I would have thought about this before I got married my second time. I wish I would have thought, because I would never have had my kids in my room ever. It would just been a lockdown. You're not coming into my room. This is our sanctuary. This is our loveness. This is our married time. We do all kinds of stuff in this room, So you have to have that in there as well. So you want to have intimacy in your relationship. You don't want to lose out on having intimacy in your relationship. And I repeat it over and over again because it is very necessary to have that. Also, with intimacy, I do believe that it will make your sex life better. And I do believe you have to have sex in your marriage to continue the bond. Sex bonds you like no other. It is such a wonderful and emotional attachment to have with each other. But to get that true emotional attachment, then you have to be trustworthy to one another. You have to love one another. You have to care for one another. You have to be able to build a solid foundation in your marriage with one another. So I hope that helped you. Remember, intimacy is awesome. And remember to love and live each day as if it were your last. And smooching, smooching. This is me being intimate with you guys in a wonderful relationship, because I want you to build and grow a positive, great relationship with one another better than nobody else, okay? Because your relationship is yours. You can build it any way you want, as long as you have intimacy, and try to keep the tears the way it goes. So if you put everything in its place, and it will flow. It will flow good. Try to switch the tears of a chocolate fountain or a champagne fountain and watch it won't flow right. But if you want it to flow right, you got to do the small to this side, to this side, to the big round side. And that is God first, yourself, a little thing. Because I don't want you to just focus so much on yourself and forget about your marriage, but you want to have personal care, self care for yourself so you can prepare to be the best husband or wife that you need to be. And then you can go down to each level. And then it's your kids after you and your husband. And then it's your family. And then it can be your friends. And everything else. You see, I didn't say work because work is way down there. I mean, you can work before your friends if you want to. You can work before your family. But as long as in your household where you live, this is where it's at, okay? So I want you to remember that love is beautiful. And I just want to congratulate you if you got engaged, if you getting ready to be married. I congratulate you. Woo! I am so, so proud of you. And just know that if you need anything, hit me up on Love and Live Life 4 at gmail.com or comment on my YouTube channel. Check me out on my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm everywhere. Twitter too. I try to be everywhere just for you to make easy access to get a hold of me. There you go. And again, love and live each day as if it were your last. Smooches.